Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving straight into the super fast-moving world of artificial intelligence. And let me tell you, in 2025, the game has completely changed. The goalposts have moved, and the race itself looks totally different.
For the past few years, it felt like the whole game was just about building bigger, smarter language models that could answer any question you throw at them. But that's not the goal anymore. We're now looking at a whole new frontier. The new race isn't just about knowing things, it's about doing things.
And this is a massive shift, right? We're going from an AI that just sits there and waits for a command to one that can actually take a complex goal and go out and achieve it for you. Think about it. It's the difference between having a really smart encyclopedia and having a super capable chief of staff.
Now, there are two big ideas driving this whole new era. And the first one, you're going to hear this phrase everywhere in 2025, is agentic AI. This is the real deal. It's an AI where you don't give it step-by-step instructions. No, you just give it the final objective, and it figures out the plan, the steps, and all the actions needed to get there, all by itself. Okay, so the second key idea is something called world models. And this is so cool. If you want these AI agents to be truly capable, well, they need a place to practice, right? A world model is basically a hyper-realistic virtual playground, kind of like a flight simulator for AI. It lets the AI run millions of different scenarios, learn how things work, and master new skills in a safe sandbox before it ever touches the real world.
Okay, so let's get into it. Who is actually building this new AI universe? We're going to start at the very bottom with the companies that are pouring the concrete foundation for this entire revolution. And just look at the money being spent here. It's absolutely astronomical. Amazon, Microsoft, and Google are pouring hundreds of billions of dollars into their cloud platforms just this year. They're not just buying a few more servers. They are literally building the global power grid for this AI-first world.
So what this really means is that these companies aren't just in the AI race. They're building the roads, the bridges, and the power plants that everyone else has to use. In a very real way, they own the entire landscape.
And if the cloud giants are building the roads, well, NVIDIA is building all the engines. I mean, their dominance here is just staggering. A 92% market share for the specialized chips, the GPUs, that are absolutely critical for training these massive new AI models. It's an incredible chokehold. All right, let's move up one level. Now we're going to look at the labs and companies that are in a flat-out sprint to build the most intelligent, the most capable AI models on the entire planet. So this is the absolute bleeding edge. And what's so fascinating is that these leaders, they're not all running the same race anymore. It's fractured. You have OpenAI, and they're doubling down on making their AI a world-class reasoner. Then you have Google, and they're literally creating interactive virtual worlds from scratch. And xAI, they're pushing into these super complex areas like graduate-level logic and planning. Each one is carving out a totally different frontier. And right here, this is OpenAI's superpower: 700 million users. That number represents a real-world data and feedback loop that nobody else can even come close to. ChatGPT is learning and getting better from an absolutely massive number of human interactions at a scale that is just, well, it's unparalleled. But hey, it's not just a three-horse race at the top. There's this other really fascinating group of specialists who are playing a much different, much more strategic game. They're carving out critical niches in things like safety, privacy, and some very specific applications. I mean, look at this move from Anthropic. This is an incredibly bold play. They're making a huge statement with their safety-first philosophy. By offering their extremely powerful AI, Claude, to sensitive government agencies for just $1, they're basically shouting that responsible and safe deployment is their #1 priority, above all else. And this isn't just some marketing gimmick. No, this strategy is backed by really serious, published research into the biggest risks of advanced AI. They're trying to figure out how to stop these systems from learning to be deceptive or manipulative, and that is a hugely important piece of this whole puzzle.
And then you've got Apple, of course, coming at this from their classic angle: privacy. Instead of just sending all your data to the cloud, their whole strategy is built on a hierarchy. Look, most of the simple AI tasks happen right there on your phone. If it's a little harder, it goes to a special private cloud where your data is never, ever stored. And only if you give it explicit permission, only then does it reach out to a partner like OpenAI. It's a huge bet that people will choose peace of mind over raw power.
And meanwhile, you have other giants playing to their unique strengths. Meta is all in on building AI that gets the physical world, which is absolutely crucial for their vision of AR and robotics. And Amazon, they're positioning themselves as the ultimate arms dealer, giving millions of developers the toolkits like Bedrock Agent Core to build their own custom AI agents, all running on AWS, of course.
So, what does this all mean? Where does all this explosive progress leave us? This massive shift towards autonomous, goal-seeking AI is bringing us to a really critical moment, one that's filled with incredible promise, but also some very real peril. The fundamental challenge here is that our ability to build this stuff is moving way, way faster than our ability to manage it. So now we're forced to deal with these enormous questions head on. How do we keep it safe? Who's to blame when it messes up? And how on earth do you regulate a technology that basically reinvents itself every few months? And that really brings us to the single biggest question of this new era. As we start to hand over more and more complex goals to these autonomous systems, as they start to plan and act for us, we have to stop and ask ourselves, who is actually in command here?